Hello and welcome everyone. We're finally back with the whole gang and we're playing Wiki 3 again, at least for today. And we will see what comes next. We might talk a little bit about the next big update. That's we haven't had a time about to talk on Wiki streams yet. Yeah, we have Lena here.
Hello.
We have Zep here.
Hello.
We have Agonia here.
Hey.
And Room.
Hello.
Nice. And yeah, we were already furiously talking about new defense contracts of jets going to fucking Boeing.
No, actually, have you guys seen? So you know, GCAP.
What is GCAP?
You guys have obviously heard of FCAS at least, right?
What?
Okay, FCAS is the German and French collaboration on a sixth-generation fighter.
That one. Yeah.
GCAP is the British, Japanese, Italian collaboration on a sixth-generation fighter, though the French are potentially leaving the FCAS because they want to build their own. NGAD is one of the two American projects because, of course, the Navy and the Air Force have to have different aircraft and different projects that achieve the same. Anyway, so
well, they have different
they have different requirements.
Yeah. I mean, for example, the Army is probably more on, hey, we need more long-range stuff. Yeah,
Air Force.
Air Force needs more, long-range stuff because they usually, operate. I mean, okay, it depends because, the Marines have their own Air Force, which is their own thing, but then also the Air Force is. It is so funny if you think about it. The two biggest air forces are the U.S. Air Force and then the U.S. Marines. And the U.S. U.S. Air Force also has their own boats, from what I know. So, yeah,
a lot of it is for.
I thought it was U.S. Air Force and then U.S. Navy and then U.S. Marines.
Yeah, no.
The Marines are.
Counting.
Aren't the Marines the Navy arm for the...
No.
They're
separate.
The fuck is going on in America?
Big army.
I thought
Europe.
I thought the Marines were like the infantry of the Navy.
No, they're related, but they're their own. Like they work closely together, but they are their own separate arm.
They have been separate, I believe, since the Barbary Wars. I want to say.
Over a century.
Marines still, it's been over a century. But basically, Marines they are special forces essentially that, they're just. It's hard to explain.
Expeditionary sort of.
Yeah, they're very They're expeditionary. They are focused on amphibious operations, but they can operate in any environment. Basically, they're essentially U.S. Special Forces, but they are their own branch. And each branch of the military has their own special forces as well. It's like Army has Rangers, Air Force has, I forget what they have honestly. Air Force is kind of like the weird child of the.
Don't forget Space Force.
Space Force. No.
Yeah.
Anyways, with the Air Force size things, there's the U.S. Air Force. If we're counting all helicopters and such, then it's the Marines. Then it's the Navy. The Marines have a fuck ton of helicopters. And the Navy has a massive traditional type Air Force.
Fixed wing.
Fixed wing and... and they have a lot of helicopters too. Like a lot of them. And they... so they have those. And that... Yeah, all those planes are it's just a lot of planes, really.
You just have a lot of planes, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, we need them.
Yeah.
For the most part, we need them. We have so much airspace to cover, not to mention the fact that we are an air... Yeah, we've been given the role of world police for a long time. Although
I mean, you kind of wanted
much
it
longer?
also.
we wanted it, but also we didn't want it. It was like a necessity thing in order to maintain
Power.
power
Yeah.
and lifestyle, stuff like that.
I mean,
And now a lot of American citizens are basically of the mindset of, why do we have to be the world police?
yeah. Meanwhile, Europe is arming up again because
Yes.
have to. We have to.
A lot of
You have to.
Americans are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say.
By the way,
Americans
can we
are happy
start?
for that?
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready. So yeah, what I was originally going to say was, so I think it was Australia and Canada are looking at joining GCAP, basically, right now. Rather than NGAD, because... basically, they're looking at diversifying away from the US sort of stuff. So.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I mean, it's not like there is a big discussion right now here to just cancel the F-35Ys and just get French stuff in
No.
That's currently a thing they're talking about here, but that's...
Certain countries are looking at either stopping expansion or limiting their purchase order. You can't really beat F-35 right now.
Oh yeah,
All the
that's...
supply chains in America as well, but the problem is...
Yeah, that's by the way also...
Can they just cut off critical supplies to certain parts and stuff like that, so...
Yeah, that's the reason why, at least here in Germany,
it's
they're talking about...
diversification.
Here in
It's
Germany...
diversification, like the financial markets away from the US.
Room. I was about to go to talk about something. Basically, at least they're still thinking here about, getting some new Eurofighters or the FALs. But, like, the general idea here is now they should just, because there's a lot of, internal struggle of, who gets to design and how to design the next generation fighter jet. And there's a lot of talk about just, let's get one done. Because it's more, they rather have one than, not. That's more the case right now. Like similarly, when it's like, oh yeah, we technically need a new need new tanks, but we can also just spam a Leopard 2 A8s now. They are pretty good in comparison, and not as expensive. So
what you're kind of describing there is the French plan for like 6th generation fighters is kind of just it's more a long-term one, so trying to get something in like the 2040s
I know,
rather than the 2030s. While Germany is kind of like we want it sooner. So basically, you guys should join GCAP. We're the best. We have the best engines.
I mean,
obviously.
could
So
be, but also,
engines, folks, read it right here.
I mean, but also
Everybody's
let's just,
saying we got the engine.
but also let's not forget, in terms of political relationships, the relationship to France is still better than that one to Britain right now. So,
but I mean, Italy, Japan, and Germany on the same fighter program.
that's
wow, beautiful.
It would be interesting, yeah. But we'll see. I mean, from what I know, there were even talks that France now considers, not going through with, going forward with some tank designs they have, like new Leclerc stuff, because basically the problem with the Leclerc is it's a really good tank. It's just over-engineered. It's very over-engineered for the specific parts the French army needs, like for example, needing to be on boats and then having landings and stuff. Important parts, but and now it's more like
they all just need leopards. Just everybody buy leopards.
Yeah, let me just.
Leopards.
I mean, it's not like most of Europe is created like, we want some cats in our garage.
Well,
by the way,
Panther, the K2 Panther, the Black Panther from Korea. That's also very good. That's mostly being built by Poland and Romania right now, I think.
Yeah, but also Poland is now considering just buying more Leopards because they can have a lot of tanks, but yeah.
Not enough tanks.
I mean, that's just the thing, you know. Basically, a lot of
Poland wants to rival Russia.
Okay, you know what? Here's the thing. Poland is out for blood, and I mean for years now. Like, there is no country in Europe that really wants to, you know, they get a little bit of Article 5 on Russia than Poland.
Oh, I just got traded stuff.
Oh yeah, that's what you wanted. That was...
Yeah, we're both out of diplomatic place now, so...
I totally forgot.
Yeah.
I was like, why do I have an isolated state? Why do I have Al Rif? Oh, right, I was supposed to trade that to you, but we couldn't.
You couldn't because the natives don't want to get colonized by people from the other side of the continent.
How rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good now. We are.
Oh yeah, actually,
for the Mongols management.
Also, Ethiopia. Ah, no, Zanzibar is still owned by the French.
by the way, interesting thing. Yeah, Zanzibar is French. We need to kick the French out. That should be our next...
I'm sorry, Lena. Your misery people are coming to me.
Yeah.
Interesting thing that happened. Germany is now for the first time deploying troops outside of our borders since World War II. Like, actually stationing them.
Weren't they part of the Bosnian War? Stuff like that.
No. I mean, actually having a permanent base in Lithuania, actually. Like, right at the Belarus border, they're going to build, like, a whole air base and stuff. And there's, like, a whole battalion. But, like... Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's currently going on, which is interesting. And the whole plan is like, it's a new brigade, and they are only sending, like, literally the newest of the new stuff. Like, it's just Leopard A8s and Pumas, and, like, all the high-quality stuff is getting sent to Lithuania. Which is interesting, actually, that this is happening. But, yeah, I mean, considering how currently the everything is going in Ukraine, not the dumbest idea.
Unrelated, Krakow is still around.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Krakow.
They're in Austria, the Austrian market.
They're doing...
They tend to
They
be,
exist? Yeah.
They're
Nice. Let's get Krakowing.
Do you think if we took over Portugal, then took over Spain, we could invade France? Because France, you basically need a land border if you want to.
Well, so Spain and Portugal are some people I want to fight. So
Okay.
that said, I don't have. I need to get out of debt first. Like this, putting down this revolt in Haiti is probably a bad idea for me, but I'm doing it.
They kind of have to.
but, yeah.
The uprising is 10 battalions, so not much of a choice.
Yeah. But, like, I am very close to my debt limit.
Yeah, Portugal at least has like fuck all military. Really. Spain has more. They have like 100 plus 66 army and then 53 flotillas. But Portugal is like 3 guys in a fishing boat. So Portugal should be really easy to knock over, and that'll get us a land border with Spain, and Spain will get us a land border with France.
Oh, yeah. Unless we fight the British again for Gibraltar.
No,
I mean, we have
let's not fight the British.
We have to.
Eventually.
We have to fight the British for Gibraltar and also for West Sahara and Inner Morocco.
And British
Well,
Congo.
let's take
And
over
to knock
France
them out of
first.
Congo.
And British North
Let's take-
Cameroon and British Congo.
Once we took over France, we've then got the backing of the French.
Not
That'd be quite useful.
really.
Or at least we can pass it.
So the British view the French as a mistaken enemy, but the French view the British as a threatening force. So technically we should attack the British first because the French won't help them.
French is like going to help them first.
Especially if we attack British Congo or Cape Colony, because then the British alone will get sucked into the war.
By the way, we're drinking again Fritz Cola. Fritz Cola. The cola of virtual imperialism. Not sponsored. Yet.
Fair point.
I'll get mine in a little bit.
So now's the question. What do we attack first?
I don't really have a preference.
Yeah, I mean you can't do much right now.
Yeah, that's my issue, is I just can't really do much of anything right now. Maintaining my current status is already a stretch.
Well, that bad for Mali?
Well, we left...
Yeah, my finances are not doing that good.
I just realized you also need to beef with the Dutch.
Why?
Yeah,
Because they have some...
They have a bunch of mini provinces or whatever on my border.
Well, they're only allied with Sweden, defensive pact with Australia, Burma, Bhutan, Siam, and Sokoto.
Oh yeah, by the way, did you hear the newest Australian news? There was a big discovery. So, you know how Australia has the deadliest spider on the planet? As in, the thing bites you, and you're basically dead.
15 minutes, roughly.
15 minutes, roughly. And also, the fangs that the thing has, they can go through leather. So, it's a really venomous spider that is running an anti-armor piercing build. That's a lovely thing to know, right? So some scientists figured out that this spider actually has a related species that is running the same setup and is twice as big. Australia moment.
I mean, another way to put it is just that these things have always been there, and we're realizing it just now.
Yeah, that it was just like, oh, they thought it's just a subspecies or subtype, but no, they were like, no, it's a different species. They just recategorized them as like, oh yeah, no, these are just twice as big versions of them. Whoops. Australia, because why? Who is living there? I mean, okay, I know people who live there, but like...
Australia doesn't exist. Prove me wrong.
Okay, honestly, it sounds like a fucking fever dream. Yeah, like, I do not know. It's, when the world was generated, there was some stack overflow, because why is there so much venom, this shit down there? Like, seriously, I am struggling. I am struggling seriously.
Someone able to bankroll me?
Don't think so.
Just for enough time to get out of... Because interest is the problem.
Let me just check if I can even.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. I wanted to also do that.
Well, do it as well. Then it's faster.
There we go.
I will let you know when I can clear some things.
Nice. But yeah, I'm generally struggling because I know people down there, and I like them, and I'm really like. I kind of want to visit them someday, meet them in person. On the other hand, my brain knows that means I have to step on that cursed fucking continent. Where everything can kill me. It's like, oh, but not everything can kill you. The fucking platypuses are venomous.
Only the male ones.
Only the males.
Only the males, but still, if they sting you, it is one of the most painful venoms in the world. It's not deadly, it's just painful. We do not have an antidote for it for some reason, and also, it can just stay under your skin and just randomly cause pain again for eternity if you are unlucky. Wow. What is wrong with that country? I mean, still, it's not only that this thing, lays eggs, looks like a duck mixed with a beaver, and also is just glowing under dark light. Why? Australia, I suppose.
Okay, I have a suspicion for the dark light thing. I think it's just the milk sweat.
That is. Did you need to remind us of the fact that they are also sweating milk?
So,
I didn't need to. It just ended up happening.
Finally, a weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
It's just a platypus.
Mali is now getting bankrolled by 3 countries.
Thank you. Honestly, this is putting a massive dent into my debt.
Yeah, I can see that. It's probably good for you. Probably.
I mean, I'm still not building right now. I can't. But I was at least able to lower my taxes slightly, so I'm not at very high taxes.
Wait, why did you? Ethiopia. Wait, no, that's me. I just thought Ethiopia went to Indonesia. Oh, no, wait, that was me.
Yeah, they did.
Soonish I will have proportional taxation, and then I have even more money.
Oh well. Yeah. Oh god, we have great.
Please give me per capita taxation, please.
The British have established British Zambia.
Where is that?
In Zambia.
South
yes,
Africa.
I
Sort of.
totally know where Zambia is. Zambia.
Round South Africa.
Well, they did, but then they handed it over to Cape Colony.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I guess we still need to get Cape Colony. Cape Colony.
We freed Northern Africa, not Southern Africa.
Most of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've got a good bit of
The
Southern
South
Africa,
shall be freed from Europe at given trains. And so it was written.
Where's a good news? I was thinking Gonyu's got a good bit of South Africa, actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to defend it.
Yo, Zep, when you're beefing with the Dutch, can I get the Dutch East Indies? Practically neighbors, anyway.
Not. That's gonna be your infamy cost, by the way.
Yes.
And I guess I'm not against it.
Lena, how do you say poggers in Dutch?
I'll have to think of what the funniest one would be.
Maybe lull. I mean, it's not the same thing, but you could just use LUL.
Yeah.
But that's
Good.
not Dutch.
Wait, hold on. Is that mean?
I wanted to
Lena,
use
is
the.
that mean to say that?
Zep, I wanted to use the unserious language for once. Okay.
No, I am saying that. Use the Dutch word lull. LUL.
But what does that use? Are you baiting me into something?
I don't
No
know.
comment.
Would you consider it baiting? Lena?
Well,
Be honest.
depends on how you look at it.
I think it's probably borderline.
You know what?
bad.
Double checking this with another Dutch person.
Luckily, he knows so many.
See, you learn things when you know enough Dutch people.
Yes.
Yeah, I was being baited.
Seth is Dutch. Confirmed.
Also, the Brits have rivaled me. I'm their rival now.
Ooh.
Nice.
Maybe I should rival them back.
They're like
think it would-
those damn Algerians grabbing all those deserts and having delicious food.
They're practically French.
But they like the
Sorry,
French.
Algerians.
They like the
It's not
French
like there was a
now.
bloody war over that, throughout the whole 1950s. So many of them.
Belgium is Denmark's overlord.
How the fuck did that happen?
I don't.
What?
The Belgians did something?
Yeah, they did.
How the fuck did the Belgians do something?
They knocked on the door and were like, "Hey, Denmark, do you want fries?" And the Danes were like, "Thank you, Belgium. We have bad food. We only know, rotten fish. Danish food is bad." Ha 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 ha.
No, it's not.
I don't know what Danish food is.
smørrebrød. The rotten fish is, I mean, Denmark probably has some, but rotten fish mostly is like Sweden and Iceland.
Yeah,
Let me put
Sweden
it
and
like this: it's a general Nordic thing, but also like it just shows that Denmark should have been annexed by Germany, so we can give them better food than just rotten fish. Good lord!
Denmark should conquer Germany.
Yes,
There's really Schleswig's my Holsteins.
yes,
No,
exactly.
just make Germany a larger Denmark. Greater Denmark, perhaps.
Why not? Why not?
Berlinerburg.
I mean, the Danish have the rest of Scandinavia to move to, and maybe even Iceland, maybe Greenland. What do they need?
You mean America?
No.
I don't know if it was fake, but wasn't there discussion about America joining the British Commonwealth again shortly? Very shortly.
Yeah. That happened.
I'm unsure if it's hallucinating AI or hallucinating Trump. So,
I mean, what's the difference? They're both equally unintelligent.
the AI can serve a greater purpose. Sometimes.
I mean, people.
Both the purposes are enriching tech bros, so.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
fair.
Oh yeah,
Like-
did you guys see the story of it was I think it was more tech bros trying to create a free city, a free tech hub in Greenland.
No, but it already made
I
me
don't think they've
groan.
looked at where Greenland.
Of course they did.
It's always somewhere where they just. It's always somewhere where they are. Where they're like, oh yeah, we're just doing it in the fucking middle of nowhere because then we just don't have to pay that much money for,
Well, no, you wouldn't want to do it there because it's fucking freezing.
I know, but they.
And also, there's no infrastructure at all.
I know. It's room. I give them at least one a +1 for creativity because every other one of them wants to build it in the fucking desert.
To be slightly fair, like it being cold does mean it will be like good for building data centers.
That's the thing where I think, at least dealing with the cold is margin. It's actually easier than dealing with the
Yeah.
heat. But also
But
maybe
there's
we shouldn't
fuck all
put.
energy there.
You could
There's
build.
fuck all power generation.
You
there.
could.
That's the biggest
You
thing.
could. Like there's thermal. There's
Yeah, you
enough
could build some
thermal
nuclear
stuff there.
reactors, so small.
And I mean,
Oh yeah, geothermals possibly as well.
yeah. Like first
Yeah,
of all,
like,
that.
I'm not saying it's a good idea, but,
But
like there is like it's not completely negative, just like 90%.
But also, let's just be real here. If you want to build somewhere a new city for something, build it on Iceland. You're literally in the middle between Europe and America. You have a lot of geothermal energy to go around there. Even oh wow, you can see them spewing stuff. And this is just
The
on one
Icelanders
is
wouldn't allow
Reykjavik. What?
The Icelanders wouldn't allow it.
Probably. I mean, then again, I need to talk to the Icelanders and have to Iceland. We need to have a talk. Where are your
They
trains?
should annex Iceland.
No, where are your trains? Like, I know you have one road around the island. Fine, keep that. But here's the thing: you have so little settlements. Connect them by train. You can
I
electrify
don't know
all
if
of
they've got
it.
the money for that, or it's
They have the
financially
money.
viable.
Oh, you know what? It
I
would
don't
be.
know if it's financially viable.
It would be viable for the environment, and holy shit, would it be viable for the environment? But also, Ruben. The counter argument is trains.
You can't argue with a train nerd.
Yes, you just build a good you just build some good light rail, and it just goes around the island in a nice pattern, and it will be better for everyone.
Again, Agonia. Like, again, Nye. Why are you not working for Deutsche Bahn?
Hey, I mean, hey, if they
why are you not doing their planning systems?
Finally,
why are you not going to
defeated?
What is? What has been?
The train nerd has been defeated.
No, I just don't want to work for Deutsche Bahn. I mean, they're doing fine on their own right now. Like, you know, we're building more high-speed rail. We're upgrading our lines. Like, in a few years, Germany will have like really well-running trains. I guarantee you that. And then everyone will be like, oh, what happens? Like, oh, we just took care of shit.
Wait, do you even have trains in the game right now when you're in Ethiopia?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Highbot and Bybot. God damn it. In 2075, to be fair. Hey, Dad, I mean, a lot of the key lines are currently actually being repaired, and like in pretty much record time. Like, just pointing at like, you know, last year's it wasn't Gäubahn, it was Riedbahn. It's like, you know, an absolute essential artery being completely overhauled and fixed in 5 months. That is really well done, and like they're tackling like 2 more lines this year. So it will take its time, but as long as they're starting with, you know, the absolute key ones, that's a big improvement coming, you know, for a lot of people. But also welcome! Some are still using stuff out of the in-game time. Okay, they said the Dutch word. They said the Dutch word. I do know what it means now. You couldn't bait me. But yeah, there was definitely no more like. I can definitely tell that the biggest problem, you know, all the problems of, like, the main problems of Deutsche Bahn, you can definitely just lead back to one critical decision, and that was they privatized it, and back then they were like, should we really upgrade all those switches? We can just remove them, and now they're building them basically back. That's literally everything they're doing right now. Like, the thing the Riedbahn needed to run a lot better is just digital control systems and more switches, so, you know, the regional rail and cargo rails can actually go to the side, and the high-speed rail can go through the middle. Like, that's the interesting part about it. Germany always had a mixed network, but we already had high-speed rail before the ICE. Like, we had dedicated trains running, you know, long-distance lines with high speeds and little stops, and the network was built around that until they gutted it. Anyway, I mean, the ICE is a good train, though. We do appreciate ICEs here. And we hate the fact that the anagram is being killed by a certain American agency.
Not even sure if I'd call it an agency anymore, honestly.
Fair point.
Oh.
Fuck, I just noticed something in this game, and I hate it.
What?
Or the, India pack, I don't know if this is on other games. Actually, you're using it.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom toolbar. Look on the right side, just above it. And no, that is not a scratch on your screen.
Oh no! Oh fuck yeah!
What?
Here.
Ah.
It's badly cut out. Yeah, I do see it now. Oh god, Zep, why did you do that? That's the shit where you're like, oh, this is how people with OCD feel like. You can't.
Yeah, no, I
unsee it.
can't unsee it. I'm in pain. I am baiting. You know, I honestly. This is gonna make me log into my freaking Paradox account and go onto the forums and be like, get this shit fixed.
I think Ruben is lagging, I think.
Oh, could be, yeah.
Because the game is on standstill for me.
Yeah.
It is. Oh,
Ruben.
Yeah.
what?
I think he has internet problems.
That is definitely internet problems. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh boy. But yeah.
I mean, to your whole Australia thing, there's also like a very small jellyfish there that stings you and you don't notice it until like roughly 1 hour later when you get a sense of impending doom because again it's neurotoxin. It's always neurotoxin.
It's just.
And then you like die in I think an hour or half an hour or something.
His PC crashed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I believe there was no anti-venom. Same for the stonefish, the meanest little fucker ever.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's cute. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yes, yeah.
But it's like, it's one of those don't step on me animals, don't touch me animals that has camouflage.
Oh, I did see a video about the stonefish today. About how like a guy has a stonefish in a tank, and he's basically like, if he screws up feeding the stonefish, literally everything in that tank dies. But yeah, no, you know what? Honestly, I think that there's something worth studying in Australia in just kind of like looking at a common breakpoint where basically everything develops neurotoxins there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, what was it again? I think it was called the Papu plant. That thing is evil.
Sounds right.
Yeah. It's basically, how's it called? Your typical, if you touch the leaf, it hurts. We know those kind of plants. But this one has more like needle-like structures instead of hair. Also, welcome back, Ruben.
Yeah. Welcome.
Ruben.
Also neurotoxin. Is supposedly hurt like hell. People have killed themselves to end the pain. And you're especially fucked since the needles are made of silica.
Yeah.
So your body doesn't break them down, and they get, like, your body is usually like, I'm enclosing the bad thing and then I dissolve it. But your body can't. So
Yeah.
every time that part of your skin gets irritated again or bumped against, more neurotoxin. It hurts for years, apparently.
Yeah, that's
Meanwhile, I saw some jellyfish on the beach when I was in South Carolina.
Nice.
nice. Interesting.
People apparently, what they do is they go into the water, they pick them up, and then just plop them down on the sand.
Are there too many of them or something?
I think there's too many of them. I don't know why they did this. I didn't have anyone to ask at the time, and I was a little preoccupied
Yeah.
to search it up. But yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm walking the dogs on the beach, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, gotta watch out for
Ruben is gone again.
Okay.
jellyfish. Yeah,
Ruben gone again.
Yeah. Huh. Well, the very deadly jellyfish I'm talking about is like the size of your fingernail, roughly, with
Yeah.
1 meter tentacles. So it's just mean because you don't see the thing.
Yeah. An interesting thing though, because like we talked about stonefish, you know, and stonefish are an invasive species in parts of the Mediterranean.
Don't you mean
because-
lionfish?
What, lionfish?
I think you mean lionfish.
Yeah, but we're talking about stonefish, but I think lionfish are like I know that
No,
lionfish.
stonefish
they-
are also
Yeah.
at around Turkey and such.
Yeah, like lionfish, I think is in like the Caribbean, like around Florida.
Could also be.
Is also where they're invasive, and they're also just being hunted down because they're
Yeah.
like
But-
playing the environment.
But I know what Nya wants to talk about, and I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's lionfish.
Yeah, I think. There are still 4 people in game. Maybe kick the person that crashed. We're 5 actually. Maybe I should actually do that.
Yeah, you should probably kick Ruben
Yeah, that's.
from
But
the game, the match.
But considering he was gone all the okay. Yeah. Let me just check. Where can
There's the boot symbol.
Oh, right.
Now
There we
we
go.
can.
Go back to.
Now we can let Ruben reload the game.
Yes. Basically,
And we will no longer be
some divers that were hunting them noticed sort of a few interesting things because, one of the problems as an invasive species is they don't have, natural predators. Moray eels are seemingly starting to get the hang of hunting them, though. As in, they're actually, because eels usually bite from the front. The whole thing is snapping a fish and then swallowing them, which is, deadly if you do it with, a highly venomous fish, that has
Spikes.
spikes.
The
But
Voray
the-
eel.
But the eels started to actually bite the spikes first and break them off.
So they're learning to hunt them slowly.
Slowly. It's like, those birds in Australia that realized, hey, those giant ass toads, we need to remove that one thing there and we can eat them. Yeah.
Which birds in Australia? There's a lot of birds in
Oh,
Australia.
I don't know which one it was. I think it
Are
was
you talking emus or...
No, it was a flying one. It was a flying one. They were pretty intelligent also, but like... I don't... No, I don't... Let me just check it again. There's always one thing when they're like, oh, hey, invasive species has no predator. But then it's always kind of cool when, a local predator is like, then I will be that. Yeah, cane toads were the problem.
Needs writing.
Black kites. And whistling kites. Those are apparently the ones that started learning how to deal with them. Which again is pretty cool if you think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Room does seem to have a problem. Sorry, chat, for the technological problems here. Whoops. But how was your week? The head. How was your
Don't
week?
worry, chat. We've got our best rocket scientist working on this.
Apologies, Chad, but we are working with technology from 1901, so...
It will take a while.
It's not wrong, though. It's not wrong.
Also, Zeb, how is your debt?
Yeah. I've managed to knock out, I think, almost, I'd say like 20% of it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
My interest is still 34.8k. My income is my total income at the end my balance is 17.4. But I'm doing this while constructing, which is the important thing. I'm actually able to build now.
So you will be slowly able to build out.
Well, at least
Yes.
I wish I could control how much I bankroll you. I could gladly give you 10k more.
Yeah,
I
it
wouldn't
would be
mind that
nice.
being a DLC function in one of the upcoming updates.
It would actually be pretty good. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? We can talk about it in a sec.
How
And
about-
honestly, that would
How about that?
would make sense as a that so funding lobbies doesn't give me money.
It doesn't.
It gives it doesn't give the country money. It gives money to the population, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I mean,
Read
they
it
can
over.
then
Yes,
buy
yes,
more.
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, to the pops in Mali.
Yeah.
Do you want me to keep it or should I remove it?
I wouldn't be against you keeping it because that might help my middle class, which is currently struggling.
Okay, then we keep that.
Oh, well.
They're like 1 point below what they should be. Their minimum expected.
Also,
Yeah.
can we trade so you get Mauritania from me? I still have that part here.
Yeah, sure. I'm fine with that.
Where do I...
I mean, that's good to
Trades.
hear. If you
I'm
survive.
committed in a diplomatic play. I can't.
Work can be really exhausting, but I hope you have a very relaxing weekend ahead. And hopefully this is a relaxing start into it. Just usually 5 people, but right now it's just 4 idiots rambling about trains. And by the way, if you've never been here, just throw your head into the ring. This is an open discussion field. Everyone can join.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
That's...
That's bad. So Ruben's Windows keeps crashing. That sounds like it's not a problem. That is a problem a rocket scientist can't handle. Actually,
It's not a rocket.
it's not a rocket. Yeah. I mean,
You'd think the rocket scientists would know at least a little bit about crashing, but
Yeah, but it seems to be more like...
it's different
If-
crashes.
Yeah. I presume it has something to do with hard drive.
Yeah,
if I had
that
to guess.
really sounds like a hard drive. Oh God! So we are. Is this for real? Is this for real? Are we
Yeah.
having another fucking?
might be a hardware issue yet. If it's a hardware issue, then we're kind of home. Well, we made it. We made it a year at least. It's something.
Funny since 14. Oh. Oh wow! That's
A long time.
That's a long time. Damn. Right. I think I saw your. But welcome to chatting. That long time follower. Here. Yeah. Ah. God damn it. Shit. What now?
Hoping that he has a separate Windows installation on a hard drive he can just...
Yeah. Oh God. I feel like Fridays are cursed.
Lately? Yeah.
Yeah.
At least the other times it was like, oh, we can plan around something. We can look for something. Now it's more like, today it's just like, yay, it's going. Everything is nope. Nope. I mean, Vicky 3 is a fun game. Like, I think you probably noticed already, but we fell off a bunch of Paradox Detective games. God damn it. We fell off a bunch of Paradox Detective games that we really loved, like, Stellaris is probably the best example. Similarly, Crusader Kings 2 was great, then it got really slow. And Crusader Kings 3 is a game I want to love, but the technology system is just such a grind. No. It is like...
It's weird that basically you should have a very smart ruler and as small as you can cultural region, just that you can get the development up.
Like, I know what they want to build with it, but it just feels very much... I don't know. Crusader Kings feels like there's a lot to love about the game, but also, like, that slowness just... Yeah. Especially since it kind of forces you into Gavelkind all the time in the beginning, and it's like... No. That shit didn't work like that.
Honestly, they needed to have an entirely different approach for that game because I've been thinking about it a little bit recently. The whole point of that game is basically to create a dynasty that spans across multiple empires.
Yeah.
That's the idea. The idea isn't to map paint necessarily. They should have had, the idea is to map paint with your family name, not with your country.
Yeah.
And while you play kind of as the country, you are mainly playing as the character. And I think they needed to do more to display the characters and the dynasties as the main character of the game. Whereas the main character of the game is still kind of the country that you're playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is what Crusader Kings 2 got like until I think the Conclave DLC, in my opinion, got really well. You did map painting because, you kind of wanted to build your empire still over generations. But I distinctly remember certain rulers I had because they just had sometimes weird as fuck storylines for themselves.
Yeah.
And it was great.
I think a way that they could have improved things is if they were to have like mechanics that encouraged you trying to place your family line on other other nations.
I mean, you can. The problem...
And Gavelkind is kind of incentivizing that, but it's also just not the correct way to go about it.
Yeah.
It feels bad.
It's also not very realistic if you think about the times.
Yeah.
It
It's
happened.
not realistic. It's not It's not very historical. Like
it happened, but it didn't happen often.
In rare places.
Yeah. And in the end, if you play like a hypothetical historical setting, the question is not necessarily what had the country except at start, but more like, as a king, you can think of any kind of hereditary system, but will you get it through?
Yeah. And also, a kind of an important thing. Galvakind, as we kind of know, as they kind of portrayed and as we know it, didn't even happen like that, because while we know, for example, that one, emperor of the Franks split his realm into 3 and Lotharingia got bodied. Like, the key difference that people need to keep in mind is he split the country equally between his 3 sons, but it was still supposed to be one country. Because that is a thing that some Roman emperors did back in the day. Because there was like a time where Rome was actually split in 4. There were 4 emperors at the same time ruling over different parts of them, and this actually worked really well because everyone was able to focus on their region, with limited technology, it was just a more sensible thing to just split a realm, even though we have to keep in mind that this only happened under one certain main emperor who held the whole gang together, and when he died, whoops.
I looked it up. Like the Wikipedia article doesn't even mention him. Like it says it's Celtic law in Ireland and Wales, and in Kent.
Yeah.
So they don't even mention Charlemagne. It's just like specifically like Kent, Wales, and Ireland.
Yeah, it's like Kent, Wales, Ireland, and
they had that hereditary thing. Meanwhile, he had a slightly different concept in mind.
Yeah.
It would be nice if your dynasty would be more inclined to stick together. Because as it is now, you can technically make another kingdom, and I'm like, oh, you're not emperor? Okay, I give it to my cousin or something, but it won't work. It won't help you. Yeah. Ideally, you give it to your heir.
Yeah. And that's also an interesting thing, because if you think about it, if you actually look at the historical part of it, it would make a lot more sense. Like, yes, for example, the example with the Roman Empire splitting, you kind of need to have one person in charge, but like, it technically would just make very strong vassals. And at that point, you should have something like, relatives should kind of like you that you need to keep them not happy to you, because that would actually incentivize that it stays in your family. And that certain parts.
They need a system for familial obligations.
That would actually be a good thing, yeah.
Because even So, like, for example, I don't have an example, but basically what happened was that even if you did not like your sibling, and let's say that you were the Duke of a duchy, and then there was another one, you had a sibling who was an independent Duke of another duchy. You would, even if you didn't like each other, if there was a revolt against your sibling in that other duchy, you are obligated to help for various reasons. There's a bit of a social obligation there. There's a dynastic power obligation there, where, for example, if a revolt happens inside of the land of one of your dynasties and it succeeds, that's a stain upon your dynasty as well.
Yeah, that would be.
You are a part of that, and so you're incentivized to help them even if you don't like them too much.
By the way, it could run a bit, but I feel like
it could take a while till Ruben.
Yeah, we should probably make emergency plans. So what is on the possibility list here? Like, what do we have?
Oh, we could just talk, but...
I mean, you know what? No matter what we're doing, I think we can probably agree that probably most of us will stay in the background talking because this is the podcast day.
Technically.
We will just ramble whatever the shit is going on in the background, you know?
To Crusader Kings 3. Like, at least in 2, you could more easily make alliances with your close family.
Mm-hmm.
But... they could also be just a scheming bastard.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's just it is kind of an interesting. It is kind of interesting how Crusader Kings 3 is like everything.
Almost like there's an entire another gameplay layer that needs to happen with the family side.
I think that's probably the weirdest part for me. Crusader Kings 3 basically took all the RPG parts from 2 and they're good and expanded on them, and then the whole tech side and basic empire management and just. But also even the family side is just... it's just slow and not a lot to do. And this is so weird because, like, when we tried Vicky 3 when it came out, we were a bit skeptical. But then it turns out, no, actually it's kind of nice. Like, even if you don't do the world conquest, and you can do world conquest so easily in Vicky 3. Like, we recently played just a round together, like Agonia and me. And we just spiraled so hard out of control, no one could stop us. It was just bullshit. I manifested American destiny all over the Americans. It wasn't just westward, it was also north and south and east. Everywhere. And Russia just did a Russian. Just normal.
I made lots of Russians.
Oh god, your Soviet breeding farm strategy is a bit strong. No, seriously, you should have seen the birth rate. She outfucked the Chinese. I didn't even think that was possible, but she did it anyway.
Excuse me, I heard the phrase Soviet breeding farm and I blacked out for a second. What happened?
Yes.
See, there is an upside if you have lots of workers, but in too many states, to just keep the woman as property. You know, it helps.
It's just, I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah, it was basically maximizing birth rate maxing, and and then just implementing a lot of social stuff, and so. Yeah, just to keep in mind, this was a Russia that had a lot of, progressive laws. So they were kind of socialist / communist. They had the most insane birth rate on the whole planet. So the factories were full just from local production, and they were still a fucking monarchy.
A fucking monarchy, even.
Maybe that was the problem the Soviets had. They should have kept the Tsar around. Maybe monarchist communism would have saved Russia. Who knows? This is a joke, by the way, just for everyone. I'm just joking. Like, that's the thing. Vicky 3 is in that sense a great game because, yes, it's not as, historically accurate, and you're basically just playing the Autarky Simulator 2023. For now. here's the thing. I am so looking forward to Charters of Commerce. I am so down that the first expansions are make power blocks and have more political influence and trade. Great. Love it.
You can finally make the United Fruit Company realistic.
Oh boy, I cannot wait to have more evil options in my evil simulator. But also, I really like that we are probably going to be able to do blockades. Real fucking blockades. Like, just keep in mind, controlling the, the Horn of Africa or the South Africa, and building the channels, the channels. That's going to be so much more important now, which is great. And you can starve countries now. And it's just like, if they're following through, it's just halfway what they're promising. This is going to impact the game so much in a positive way. I am looking forward to it. Like, the global market sounds great. I'm really looking forward to the next Death Diary. If I didn't miss it already, who cares? Also, that's just great. Then, I'm happy they're saying, like, hey, we're making one big mechanical expansion that is just mechanical stuff now. Good. Do that like that, and then do, flavor packs afterwards. I'm fine with 2 good flavor packs that actually expand on regions that need expansion, and, one really deep dive into mechanics. That is actually a good plan for the year, because I think every other game just does a lot of, oh yeah, we're just having here some flavor and some mechanics, and here's a half-assed idea. We're not going to keep working on it. We have a new idea. Hello, Stellaris. I didn't miss you. Anyway, we're not improving trade. Loving it. Can't wait for June. And then, what comes afterwards? Oh hey, Austria and the Balkans. Hell fucking yeah. Finally, no more stable Austria. I am so interested in how that will play out. I'm really looking forward to that. Like,
Prussia might actually form on a regular basis.
Maybe.
I'm actually just excited about being able to do like proper Navy stuff for once.
Yeah, this is gonna be really great. Yeah. Even though they will probably keep working on that because they still, like, the end goal is actually having distinct boats. Great plan. But also, afterwards, Iberia, woo! Reconquista time.
I am. So this expansion pass is made for me. Like, we have the Navy stuff with the blockades.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
That kind of thing, and then we have the Iberia expansion, and then Iberia, and it's just like great. And I can finally do Portugal games and have fun doing them now.
Oh yeah,
Just even more great because I like playing Portugal because they're because they're a tiny little minor power and they have influence and they can do stuff and they're geopolitically having opportunities. So it's like,
yeah. I mean, I still need to wait until I get the season pass for that because, I mean, listen, it's like this season pass we're getting it because it's just like, bam. This is stuff I want to have, and we're streaming it every Friday anyway, so you know what? Go ahead. I don't need the new ships now. I'd also, again, not have money. It's kind of poor right now. C'est la vie. And...
Das ist Leben.
Das ist das Leben. Das ist der Tod. Okay, sorry. No, I just quoted like an old German dub video from YouTube. It's brain rot. Anyway, okay. And like, yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, the mechanics spec, I was wondering what is going to be the next one, and like, yeah. Trade seems to be is like one of those key things they needed to work on, and frankly, I am so happy they are actually working on it. It's just gonna be good. Like, if they're following through and it's not gonna be a total disaster, Chapters of Commerce will usher in a totally new era of Wiki 3 playing. and afterwards again, Iberia, Austria. I'm down with it. Austria's like, I mean, there are a lot of regions that I feel that should have more, that should maybe get a bit more love, like
It's not the
Mali,
most
Sokoto,
interesting region,
Ethiopia.
but it's one of the more important ones that needs to happen.
Fair point. It is. It's like, when they announced that, I'm like, yeah, that is actually like, get it out of the way, then you can do other stuff like the Caribbean, for example, or a bit more of Central America. We can do that later. I want more focus. I want to see, like, here's the thing. Austria and Spain, important. I'm happy that they're off the checklist. I do want to see, at least for a medium-sized to smaller nation flavor pack, or a smaller region flavor pack, though, somewhere soonish. Like, just have it.
I don't know if they're going to do it anytime soon, but I'm also really I hope and expect them to do like a Horn of Africa flavor pack for Ethiopia at some point. Because they have just like a little smidgen of content there, but there is so much that like they could and should do with that region. Like I read up a little on like 19th century Ethiopia is the whole thing with it starting out fragmented at the start. There is so much stuff there that you can do, and with Somalia as well. Like there is so much untapped potential, and you just get like the tiniest little bit of it. Like it needs to have like its own proper focus at some point.
Yeah. Hey, Vitty, how are you doing? Welcome to waiting for Ruben, and probably him not being able to do stuff. So we need something else. I don't know. Is there any idea? Because I'm probably not going to be able to do a lot of really intense stuff. You have any idea, Gonya?
Not really.
Why does Windows need to crash now? I mean, it's probably a hardware, so it's not even the problem of Windows. Even though Ruben is boycotting Microsoft better than any of us right now.
I just now noticed Sierra Leone owns like pretty much the entire Caribbean other than Cuba and Haiti.
So what it is that for whatever reason they decided to give Sierra Leone the primary culture of Afro-Caribbean, which means that that technically like Jamaica and Bahamas and like all these other islands count as homelands for Sierra Leone, which is, I mean, there's like some understanding in that, like logic-wise, but also like, why are you making why is the primary tag for this Sierra Leone?
It's not the same, really. It's similar, but like.
I just noticed I'm like okay, I find that kind of amusing.
Like I'm not even gonna like complain about them having the same culture. I'm just complaining about Sierra Leone being the main tag for it, which means that if Britain is to create a state out of that, like a subject out of it, then they're just gonna hand the territory off to Sierra Leone. Yeah. And by the way, just another little like pet peeve of mine. Mosquito Kingdom.
Mosquito Kingdom, not Mosquito Kingdom, I think.
No, it's Mosquito Kingdom right now.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, okay. How did that happen? That sounds like
it happens whenever it changes either its subject type or its I forget what government types.
I want to say more like Mosquito Kingdom sounds like a bit, looking down on it, like, oh, it's the Mosquito Kingdom. There are so many little buggers there. I hate it.
The name is more of a literal thing.
I think so, but like, still, it has this notion.
Yeah, no, like that coast of Central America is highly known for just the masses of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And that's part of why it ended up being named like that. By the way, if you're in Central America, don't spend too much time around the coasts because you're going to get bitten by bugs. Hang out in the mountains. Mountains are really cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Regular sacrifice something to the Microsoft gods. Yeah. I mean, I do hope people do remember to not buy the next Doom game, even though it looks great, because, Microsoft is selling AI and other stuff to the Israeli Defense Forces and to propagate the genocide in Gaza. Da, 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 da. Just saying. Looks cool, don't buy.
Yeah, that's right. I looked it up as well. Like the Mosquito Coast is named after the Mosquito Nation, but it's spelled Mosquito Coast because 19th century colonial.
Yeah, I thought so.
Apparently, I am now. My private sector is now building up America.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Kentucky and Connecticut, Georgia.
Pretty much everywhere, actually.
The name has nothing to do with the insect. It's just it sounds the same because of,
it sounded the same.
It's same as what I have with like Gaza in Africa and Gaza.
Okay, so it's more coincidental.
It's just like sometimes names just. I mean, it's similar with evolution. It's just convergent naming. It's just like sometimes it just happens.
Yeah. It's coincident. Like it is Miskito, Miskito, is the people. But then, like you said, I don't think it has. I just looked up on Wikipedia to be fair, but it didn't say anything about the insects, but just that it was spelled Mosquito Kingdom by 19th century British colonial interests because it's 19th century British colonial interests. They don't give a shit.
True.
So it is misspelled, but it is correctly misspelled for the historical period.
Yeah, fair point, I guess.
Accurately reflect how little the British overlords actually care.
Yeah, how was it with Taoism and Taoism?
Oh god.
It's Taoism, but the British insisted of calling it Taoism. If I remember correctly.
Something like that, yeah.
But then you get the interesting to be fair, the Mosquito Kingdom was officially named that by under British rule, so there is that. But at the same time, they do have modern Chinese transliteration. They don't have the old Wade Giles transliteration for the Chinese cities, which kind of it feels a little bit like wishy-washy, but I do still get it. I don't think they should do it, but it's this is
just classic paradox. They're very inconsistent with how they want to go about their naming convention.
I think it feels weird, but like I said, it is sort of because China isn't colonized at this point, so this is just what are these cities called, and this is what they're called now. But the Mosquito Kingdom was actually a formal name in formal documents at the time by the British. And if they did use Wade Giles, I don't know if this game is actually sold in China, but if they use Wade Giles, I don't know if that would fly.
At least it's available in Chinese, I think.
Except there are primarily Chinese-speaking people that are not in China, so.
Yeah, I just know that it's available in Chinese. Doesn't mean you can buy it in China.
I wonder if they're gonna fix the whole treaty ports breaking thing on loading.
Oh god.
Yeah,
I mean that's gonna be important for that's gonna be an important bug to fix in my opinion.
I mean it's probably high on the list. It's probably very high on the list, but yeah, the thing with thing with names is just it's hard considering especially if you have if you have nations where people live, and it's they sometimes just have similar names or they have different names for things that are and depending on who their neighbors are, it's naming things is just if you look at historical records, historians to this day are who did they mean with that name? Because for a lot of people back then, it's like, oh, this is just a normal name, and be like, and nowadays you're like, but we might know it under a different name, so that's a problem. But I mean, it's not like, you know, names also are used for like.
How far back you go, some kingdoms and civilizations have trouble keeping their own name straight. So
Yeah, I mean that's just a big thing. Like, there's like how many like for example, I mean there was a big thing. For example, like if you look at, I can mostly talk about, you know, German history. Like a lot of names here are like definitely, you know, they meant something different, and then because other words sound similarly, they just kind of started melding together. And then you have stuff like intentional overwriting of names, because for example, Bavaria is like a good example. Like actually Bavaria has a lot of old record keeping from the medieval ages, okay? And only like historians are going through it, and like they were like, okay, it's they need to actually check where is what, because there was a time there was like the really old books where they kept records about, you know, the towns and the regions, and then later in the history they actually wrote new books because, well, the rulers changed, and they were like a bunch of them were like, okay, you know what, we can't really keep using that name, because for example there were villages, you know, living basically between two hills, like in a hilly valley, and they were asked, how do you actually calling that region, you know, those hills, and because there were like two round hills, they answered Arschkrampe, so ass crack. Because a lot of local peoples have, you know, they're just like a bit vulgar. They're just like, yeah, this looks like that, who cares? And then a lot of officials were like, I can't write that down, and gave it a new name. So now it actually they have to cross-reference and be like, okay, where the fuck does this description, you know, actually work out? And they are finding like old villages that have been abandoned because, you know, for example, there were wells there and such. And then later they didn't need them anymore, they moved somewhere else. It's hard to find shit. Yeah. That's actually like a thing. Like a lot of locals are very vulgar when it comes to naming things.
At least compared to what
Yeah.
the people who write it down think.
Yeah, that's just a big thing. I mean, I talked enough about the beef the Bavarians had with the Wittelsbachers, where they were like, we don't like that guy from Mannheim, filthy snob, and he was like, rule bumpkins, I'm going to make you a nice little you know, marketplace. And they're like, we're not gonna use your fucking name. And that's to this day the Stachus. The Stachus is literally called, for everyone who doesn't know, the Stachus in Munich is actually called the Karlsplatz, but because they hate the people from Munich hated the guy so much that built it, they just named it after the tavern keep that had his tavern there. That's why it's called Stachus to this day. They just hated the guy and refused to use his name. That is, again, you want to have a record for biggest hater. The whole town of Munich is keeping the hate up to this day. Just saying. The guy is dead for hundreds of years, and they still don't refuse to use other names. So yeah. Okay. Alternative ideas. I think it probably won't work with Ruben anymore.
Well, he said it will take a while.
It will take a while, yes.
Which is an unspecified amount of time.
I wish he could join us over his phone or be in chat. Would be useful. Oh yeah, actually,
you can ask him.
Hmm?
You can ask him. Technically.
I think, yeah.
changed some stuff around to build more, so I will need more money. So I can't fund lobbies, but I can still bankroll. The construction sectors need to be fed. At least another hour, he says. Okay.
Okay,
At least
another hour. Yeah, okay, at that point we should definitely... At that point we should definitely do something different.
Well, what can we do?
I mean... We could do some co-op stuff. We could, I don't know, out of plan continuing some Borderlands, the DLCs. I don't know.
Let's
I
see.
really don't know.
Which game do all of us three have? 4. Sorry, I'm
4.
bad at counting. Age of Wonders 3.
Yeah, okay, that's the question. If anyone,
That's fast. That doesn't take long.
It's pretty fast. I don't know if I want to play Age of Wonders 3 though. I'm still a bit...
That just means it's over faster.
I'm also like I've never actually played it. Like I tried to play it for a little bit and it bounced off immediately, and I've never really given it another chance.
Yeah, I remember you said something.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give Age of Wonders 4 another shot, but it's just like every time I play,
We're talking about
I play
3.
for like
No, let him talk. Okay, I want to hear.
it's Age of Wonders still. I'm on subject enough.
Yeah.
But like I feel like every time I play, I lose track of the goal. Like
Depends on
after
what
the
you're
early
playing.
game.
It depends on what you're playing in the first place. Like I for example, I never touched single player, so I couldn't tell you there. Multiplayer, it's either conquer everything, hold seals to win. I think research victory is also possible, and some other stuff like conquering more of the map. And I believe there is a limit of 150 turns or something, or at least you can enable it, that after that time the person with the most points wins.
Hello, Gato.
So in that sense it's similar to Civ in that you have different victory conditions you can go after. But the rest of the game is unlike Civ.
Yeah.
Because it's basically the military-industrial complex, the game.
I mean, it is basically what Heroes of Might and Magic wanted to be after 3.
And was, kind of.
I mean, the funniest part about that is that the new Heroes of Might and Magic visually really tries to be like 3, but all the new mechanics, they're like, you played Age of Wonders. We see you, but it's not even, it's just taking that, which is like,
like, it's it's basically you want a good army, and then conquer as many resource points, infestations, and wonders as you can, because that brings you resources real fast, especially if you take fabled hunters with it.
Yeah,
and that's what fuels your city, and your city is more like sometimes it generates a few resources, otherwise it's more for mostly research.
Sadly, no. I did learn French at some point in my life. I forgot too much and I regret it. But no, sadly, no Spanish at all.
No.
But yeah.
But then again, if as soon as you play with another person, depending on what you allow, because the game has some balance problems for multiplayer, I would say. Like we had rounds that lasted 30 turns.
Yeah. It can be fast.
Especially with just 2 players. With more players it can take longer.
Yeah, I guess the game maybe is a bit more fast paced than I like. I'm the kind of person who plays like who plays Civ with like long turns and marathon, actually, like the largest world in marathon. Like I like a slow grind for my single player games.
Yeah. You can also turn specifically those options on in Age of Wonders. The problem you have in multiplayer with that is that it widens skill expression a lot, which tends to coalesce into the problem of if someone is better than you, they may just stay in their corner of the map. And Age of Wonders is generally a snowball game, and the longer and less like marathon and similar options in the end lead to every turn is even more important.
Yeah.
So someone who does less mistakes does also less mistakes over time, thus accumulating in even more snowball.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
You can do it. You can even play it like
I would
how's
say
it called? PBM?
PBM,
I said.
Player versus...
Not player versus. PBM is the old email system. You could...
you mean... Yeah.
Email.
Yeah, that's doable.
3, I still think, uses that system.
You can still use that,
but not directly email. Now it's on the Steam servers. Like, we could technically have a round and once per day everyone does a round or something.
That's doable, yeah.
You
Which
can
is
do
kind of cool.
Solium Infernum.
Oh yeah, right.
Don't have that.
I don't think we have it.
No, but that's also like a game like that where everybody takes their turn and then every turn gets processed in order.
That's actually kind of
That's great.
Yeah, but I mean, I would also say if you like more single player stuff, I would say the expansions of Age of Wonders 4 definitely make that part so much better. Like, it is insane how much they added.
I have seen some stuff and I've looked at the the giant stuff looks interesting.
This giant stuff is great. But like I would say it all builds together, like, you know, not only different cultures and rulers, and also the fact that, you know, you have different layers now. The underground is much more interesting, that you can now build here like literally dungeon-esque structures and stuff. There is so much new shit and it's really good. But yeah.
I'm just kind of like having to narrow, like I think I just need to find my playstyle.
Probably. I can tell you what's depending on what you like to play. I can give some advice, because if you just want something strong that steamrolls everything, I know something.
Giants and dragons, but yes.
But mostly giants with mystic summoners, because they have basically a pickup resource only they can see, which they can use to promote their summons. Thus, you just take ice elementals, because that also gives you a research special improvement province. And you basically use this to turn at least 15 max. You have a tier 3 ice elemental at that point.
Yeah.
Because they evolve if they have max rank.
Okay, so by the way, we should actually decide. Should we do some multiplayer things that we have? Should we like help Zeb with Monster Hunter if he has interest in that? Should we just continue with the Borderlands DLCs, because that's pretty chill and we can just talk meanwhile on the meantime? In meantime, yes. You see how much I'm not dead on the so we need to make it. We should make a decision now. Because this is the podcast time, we will still talk for hours. It just depends on what should run in the background of the podcast.
Then you should save first.
I will save first, yes, but like, I will do that after we decide, because then I can set everything up and end the stream fine and nicely. It's just, what should we do? Or should I just roll a dice? I have dice here, I have access to dice. Love my fucking dice. So,
Dice are good.
Well,
what do?
I'm pretty much open for everything.
I guess, should we do then, like... I mean, Zeb, would you be also okay with Monster Hunter, depending on yes, no? Or just want something different?
I'm still.
I mean, we could help you. That's more the idea, but yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just check.
Probably not today.
Okay.
I'm just kind of. It's been a long week.
You know what?
that's
Fuck
fine.
it. Let's switch to Borderlands and just do the start it on the DLCs.
Sure.
Then we might just actually also get through that game in time. But also, Zeb, Lena, you can stay in here. We can still talk. This is just everyone. Yeah, just we will literally be back in a second then, and just reload.
I'll switch back over to Star Sector, my current obsession. It has done bad things to my sleep schedule.
Is there that much to do in there? I just colonized multiple planets and then I was unstoppable. Have they updated?
Like the new I got back into it again recently. I was like 2 versions behind, and then like while I was playing, the next version dropped, so I waited a little bit. So I'm playing with like the older previous version. I had like a massive bloated mod list, like intentionally so, because I was like, okay, I want to try like all this stuff that I hadn't tried before, and that like it was fun in a way, but sort of it was far too much. So now I've trimmed it down a lot and curated the list. Like went down to like half the total number of mods, and it's I'm having a lot of fun.
I've heard recently that apparently Star Sector has a lot of malware in their mods, though.
Oh yeah, that drama last year. Yeah, I called some of that live. It's not as big of a deal. It's modder drama. Like basically any big modding scene will at some point have at least one, or possibly multiple modders that like get way too up their own asshole and have beef with other mods and put in some sort of malware that will do bad things if it affects the mod they don't like. But
by the way,
that's been fixed now. That's been removed.
By the way, thanks everyone for tuning in for Wiki 3. Stay here. Just reload the site if the stream stays black. We're just switching over to Borderlands and then we just keep yapping here. So, yeah, sorry for that. Wiki 3 next time. In a second.